From the cobbled streets of Elizabethan London to the modern classrooms across the globe, the influence of William Shakespeare resounds through the ages like the echo of a finely tuned bell. The streets of London, bustling with merchants and street performers, paint a picture of a city alive with artistic fervor and innovation. It is nearly impossible to traverse the landscape of English literature without encountering the profound impacts of his work, the plays, the poetry, the timeless themes that continue to resonate with the human experience. My fascination with Shakespeare began in a damp, dusty library, where I stumbled upon a tattered copy of Romeo and Juliet. That day ignited in me a passion for the bard that would change the course of my academic journey. Shakespeare was born in 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon, a quaint market town characterized by its picturesque cottages and the gentle lethargy of the River Avon that meanders gracefully through the countryside. The son of John Shakespeare, a successful glovemaker, and Mary Arden, the daughter of a landowning farmer, young William was steeped in a world ripe with opportunity and creativity. His early life did little to suggest that he would come to shape the very fabric of English literature. However, by the time he reached his mid-20s, he had made an indelible mark on the theatrical landscape of London. As I delved deeper into his world, the complexities of his characters began to unfold before me. The yearning of Juliet for her formidable Romeo, the tragic demise of Hamlet, and the cunning ambition of Lady Macbeth drew me in with an ease that belied their underlying depths. Shakespeare's characters are not mere constructs, they are orbs of life, each with their struggles, dreams, and aspirations. It is in their flaws that we find our reflection, our fears and desires rendered in words that resonate with every reader, transcending time and space. The universality of Shakespeare's themes is staggering. Love, betrayal, ambition, and mortality. They are subjects as relevant today as they were during the tumultuous times of Tudor England. Envision the rough-hewn wooden benches, worn smooth by countless eager spectators, each one swept away on a tide of emotion. Perhaps what fascinates me most is how Shakespeare could distill the essence of humanity into words. In my adolescent years, I found solace in his exploration of love, especially as I navigated the treacherous waters of my own burgeoning romantic encounters. His deft humor in the comedies offered me laughter, and his tragedies filled my newfound knowledge with cautionary tales about the darker sides of aspiration. The notion of identity also presents itself prominently in Shakespeare's work. One cannot overlook the profound questions of self and society that characters wrestle with in plays like Twelfth Night and Othello. Visualize the masquerades of the Elizabethan court, where nobles donned elaborate costumes that masked their identities and intentions. In these narratives, Shakespeare probes the notion of disguise and the performative nature of existence, suggesting that we all play multiple roles across the various stages of our lives. The exploration of gender fluidity and the societal norms of his time are as relevant now as they were 4 centuries ago, prompting modern audiences to ponder the questions that linger just beneath the surface. As I moved on to the study of his sonnets, a new layer of Shakespeare's genius revealed itself to me. These 154 lyrical poems capture the essence of love and beauty in a way that is both intricate and accessible. Imagine holding an old paper, the edges frayed while the ink has faded not too delicately, yet the words still linger in the air like echoes of a long-lost melody. The sonnet's exploration of time, youth, and decay struck a chord within me, particularly the poignant Sonnet 18, where the speaker immortalizes their beloved through the power of verse. Herein lies the paradox of time. The more it slips away, the more vividly we can remember and define our experiences. Shakespeare's work showcases an awareness of the ephemeral nature of life, a truth I came to accept as I started becoming more cognizant of my mortality. Pondering over Shakespeare's works, I couldn't help but wonder about the man behind the quill. Surely, he was privy to the same experiences that shaped his characters, navigating the intimacy of relationships and bearing the weight of expectations. Many have speculated on the inspirations that shaped his narrative landscapes: the political tumult of Elizabethan society, the classical works of Greece and Rome, and even the ebb and flow of personal relationships that surrounded him. It is here, in the confluence of these influences, that we find the remarkable talent that has rendered his work timeless. The legacy of William Shakespeare extends beyond the confines of the page. His works remain vibrant on the stage and within the halls of academia, reverberating through decades of performances and adaptations. Visualize grand theaters where operas and ballets interpret his narratives, bringing new life to the text amidst grandiose sets and exquisite costumes. From West Side Story to a modern retelling of Hamlet, set in a cafe in present-day Seattle, artists continually repurpose his tales and themes to find fresh meaning. It is as though Shakespeare himself beckons from the annals of history, urging us to reimagine our understanding of humanity through his lens. As I lived through various academic challenges, the study of Shakespeare provided me with tools not only for literary analysis, but also for navigating complex social interactions. Engaging in heated debates over the moral ramifications of Iago's deceitfulness or the tragic flaws of Macbeth nurtured vital skills in communication, critical thinking, and empathy. These discussions were not merely intellectual exercises, but rather communal rites of passage, bonding us through our shared enlightenment. In applying to graduate school, I recognize that my passion for Shakespeare extends beyond just an affinity for his plays and sonnets. It embodies a desire for deeper understanding of literature, of history, and of the human condition. I see my pursuit of advanced study as an odyssey, much like those of the characters within the very texts I admire. Envision me standing at the threshold of an ancient library, its towering shelves illustrating the centuries of thought distilled into bound volumes, waiting to be explored and contemplated. This next chapter in my academic journey promises the opportunity to delve closer into the fabric of literature, enhancing not only my knowledge of Shakespeare, but also my comprehension of literary heritage and the voices that have shaped our cultural conversations. As I pen these thoughts, I am struck by the profound connection I feel to William Shakespeare, despite the gulf of centuries that separates us. His ability to capture the multifaceted complexities of life continues to inspire me, propelling me to seek connections within the text, between the characters, and with my own experiences. In conclusion, the enduring legacy of William Shakespeare is not merely an academic fascination, but a profound exploration of life itself. His works transcend the ages, reflecting the struggles, joys, and revelations intrinsic to the human experience. Imagine standing in front of the curtain theater where the magic once unfolded, breathing in the palpable sense of history that lingers. This journey through Shakespeare's world has illuminated my understanding of literature, humanity, and the very essence of being. My aspiration to delve deeper into this legacy as a graduate student embodies my desire to continue exploring the vast realms of knowledge, to grasp the threads that connect us all, much like the bard himself. Gentle readers of this latter age, wherein my humble scribblings have chanced to endure beyond the span of my mortal coil, though I, William Shakespeare, late of Stratford-upon-Avon, player and playwright, do now set quill to paper, or fancy it so, to discourse upon that work which I hold dearest among the many that flowed from my pen, the tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Of all my plays, be they comedies that dance in moonlit woods, histories that chronicle the crowns and falls of kings, or tragedies stained with blood and ambition, none hath occupied my soul so profoundly as this tale of the melancholy Dane. Written in the bloom of my maturity, around the turn of the century when the globe did rise and my company flourished, Hamlet stands as my chiefest achievement, for it delves deepest into the mysteries of man's heart, his doubts, his frailties, and his fleeting grasp upon existence. Why do I esteem it above the rest? Consider, if you will, the breadth of its inquiry. In Romeo and Juliet, I painted young love's fevered haste and sorrow. In Macbeth, the corrosive thirst for power. In King Lear, the storm of ingratitude and madness. Yet in Hamlet, these threads entwine with philosophy itself. The prince, haunted by his father's ghost, wrestles not merely with revenge, but with the very essence of being. To be or not to be, That is the question. Herein lies the play's enduring power, a mirror held to every soul that ponders life's purpose amid corruption and deceit. The court of Elsinore teems with intrigue, a usurping uncle, a grieving mother too swiftly wed, friends turned spies, and a maiden driven to watery grave by woe. Yet the true drama unfolds within Hamlet's mind, his feigned madness, his piercing wit, his procrastination born of overthought. He is no simple avenger, he is every man, tormented by inaction in a world rotten at its core. Something is rotten in the state of Denmark, quoth Martellus, and so it proves, reflecting the frailties of courts and kingdoms alike. This work, longer than most and rich with soliloquies that bare the soul, challenged even my fellows at the Globe. The role of Hamlet taxes the player as none other, demanding wit, fury, tenderness, and despair in equal measure. It was preserved for posterity in the great first folio, compiled by my dear comrades Heminges and Condell, lest half my plays vanish into oblivion. Though audiences flock to lighter fare like A Midsummer Night's Dream for its fairies and frolics, or weep at Romeo and Juliet's star-crossed passion, and scholars debate the heights of Lear or Othello, I confess a father's partiality. Hamlet is my masterpiece. It captures the vastness of human experience, love, betrayal, mortality, and the eternal quest for meaning, in language that sings and stings. Thus, in humility, or what remains of it in this imagined voice, I commend Hamlet to you as my best. Read it, see it played, and find therein your own reflections. The rest is silence.